So finally, nice to meet you. We have Rennie Robbie in the
Nice to
house
meet
with
you too.
DUFFLEBAG.
Oh my goodness, it's been so many years.
It has indeed. You look really well. You look really happy.
Thank you. You look good too.
Thank you. It's been a long road, but I'm finally
Right,
glad. I'm finally glad to be doing it. But this time, really, now we're here to talk about
right.
you and what you have been doing with your time
With your hair,
since we last spoke. I mean, just so the viewers know, we've come full circle, haven't we?
yeah,
From almost 10 years ago, it's been like an anniversary interview. So from
right.
10 years ago, from that first picture I've got of you like this, with
Yeah.
your, with your king's hat on, all the way
Yeah.
to the journey where you are now. So we kind of were lost. I mean, you could just touch upon before we go on to your book, you was still in LA, still making music. You were still with New West, with Deshaun Jetta, with Hardhead. Can we pick
Right.
up from there and see what went on from there, please?
Um, a lot. So I really don't do music anymore. I've been more with administrative services. I'm more active with the distribution still. I actually have an artist that I put on with Hard Hair Productions distribution. And I also have my own distribution that I'm launching and still working with the same artists. And just been more just behind the scenes, more behind the scenes. Um,
So
Me and Hardhead are
the relationship's still strong.
yeah, yeah, we're still family, still family. I just kind of like branched off doing my own thing and then like you said, come back full circle. Brought an artist to the table, to introduce to the family and just been doing more just sticking with the distribution. Sometimes I miss rapping and doing music, but it comes with a lot. So being behind the scenes is better for me.
It's actually been rather nice this week. I've been going through like your back catalogue and sitting there and reminiscing of
Right,
listening.
listening to old music.
Yeah, it's been quite
Yeah,
dope actually. It's been really cool. And
yeah.
when did you take yourself out of the actual situation of making music? When did you make? Was there a catalyst behind that decision?
To stop making music or when I started?
Yeah, to move away from actually being involved in the day to day, being in the studio, being in production, writing, etc. When did you make that decision that okay?
Just a transition. It's been so long. Just pretty much just wanted to do something different. Originally, I wanted to do modeling, so I was modeling first for Hard Hair Productions, and then I transitioned into doing music. I think after I had some like family things that went on during the time my daughter's dad had passed away.
I'm sorry to hear
Um,
that.
yeah, just a lot of different things that was transpiring where music it was like no longer a priority for me. I had to start focusing more on my daughter and my family and just focusing more on me than entertainment business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Has it
just
made
was
you?
no longer.
Have you found that? Have you found that's made you feel a lot better inside, a lot calmer, a lot more focused?
Um mm, well, the industry is my passion. So either way, like since doing music, I do club night promoting. Was doing that for a while, and then of course, this book has been, in the making for some years. Just pretty much the transition. Like I went from doing music to where I probably might say that I maybe went into a depression after
Okay.
doing music. Honestly, maybe I would say like in hindsight. I went into a depression, probably more so from a lot comes with working with teams and multiple people. I have social anxiety, believe it or not. So just being in the studio, being around a lot of different people, being around a lot of different energies,
And there
a
was a
lot of stuff.
lot at that time, early then, there was an awful lot of people that were in and out of that studio, really, wasn't there? It was quite a big, not just a particular core team, but even people like Cocaine coming in, coming out. You had little bits
Yeah,
where Snoop had come in and out, Corrupt had come in and out. And that
yeah. Well,
itself,
yeah,
I suppose, brings its
they're all
own
still
dynamic.
family. Yeah, they're all still family. Yeah, but even
Yeah.
now, like events, I'd rather be in the background, like I pretty much I see those guys, but I just kind of like just stay back.
They are larger
Um
than life, though, some of them, aren't they?
yeah, it's a high energy. It's a very high energy. You have to be very strong, strong-willed. Being a female in the industry can get messy.
Yeah.
So
Not
it
to
was
get
just
caught up in too much drama.
yeah, it was just more so like just to fall back.
I know
Just
that
fall back.
Deshaun made a conscious decision to move away from LA itself and comes to the relative safety of like the Inland Empire and be able to
Right,
concentrate fully on music.
right.
And so when did you feel the decision was necessary to take yourself out of that particular area of LA and say, okay, and now to go where you are now? Is this where you found the time to come and forward and do your new project, going to
Okay, so
Vegas?
well, I'm from the Inland Empire. I'm from Redlands, like like I stated all the way from day
Yep.
one. So more so the city. I spend a lot of time in the city, but like I said, it gives me anxiety.
But you
So
can still
being down,
dip in and dip out, can't you? I have seen you.
yeah,
I have
yeah,
seen you on your shopping trips, and you're doing your research for other. We'll talk about later for other things later that
yeah.
you're
So
doing.
so pretty much downtown LA, Staples Center is like 55 minutes away from where I live right now. So Um, the last event I did, I want to say, was probably with the Migos. I think that was the last celebrity event. Um, and that
The
was 55
Migos.
minutes away from home. Yeah, the Migos,
Yeah.
the rap group. Yeah. So I've been working with after hours, doing after hours out there in LA. And so it's just easier to gain just to be just more conscious and aware is better down here in the Inland Empire than being
Yeah.
in the city. But then it's close enough to where I can go out there, go work, um, do what I need to do, and come home.
I noticed you did do. You went while you was doing music. You did go and do away and do the administrative course, didn't you?
Yeah.
And so did that enable you to actually physically go, right, okay, I've got more options here. I can now go and
Yes.
choose what I need to go and do.
Yeah. Actually, yes. Because when you're an artist with the label, you have an image to maintain. And I'm not really into maintaining an image. I like to be myself. And so, you know, I am Winsday. Winsday is my stage name. That's the personification that that grew on, and my nickname, stage name. Um, but a lot of my work with the New West and Hard Hair Productions was like a lot of pain, a lot of pain through music. And so along with healing, um, came along in my healing journey just on myself, like for myself as a person. Um, that's when I started realizing that I had anger issues, a lot of anger
Okay.
issues. And so it was just like a transition for me to decide that it's easier for me to stay back and work behind the scenes than to be on the front line
Yeah.
because it was getting uncomfortable for me.
Hardhead now, I feel as well within himself, he's gone full circle, and I see him now, and he seems to be really back in the mix with regards to being in LA, which I must admit, I hope he doesn't mind me saying, that kind of surprised me. I thought he was happy where he was. He was focused where he was. And I never wanted him, after what he's been through personally himself,
Right.
getting dragged back into that mix again.
Right.
And I know
Well,
she's all,
that's where, well, the city is where all the entertainment is, and that's where the big events are.
yeah,
That's where the money's at. That's where Big U is, of course, and so it's kind of like you got to go home. We have to go there. Most of us travel there weekly. Some people commute daily.
yeah.
I
He
just
did,
can't do it personally. Yeah,
yeah.
so it goes to where sometimes you just have to get back to your roots. Sometimes you have to get back to your roots. So for him,
Seems to be
his roots,
working.
yeah, he has to get back to his roots sometimes and go down there. And my roots are in Redlands. So I had to get back to my roots.
Yep.
So we kind of like we're going in different directions.
Well, he heard me mention Florence and Normandy, and he was like, "Oh my goodness, that's me. That's where I'm
Yeah.
from. That's what you need to know about." I was like, "That's for another time." I said, "But we will get there one day." He used to come
Right.
back to many years ago to a favorite lyric on an Ice-T album about Florence and
Mhm.
Normandy. And when we spoke about it, I could see his eyes light up like, "Oh, you know about this?" I was like, "Of course I do.
Yeah.
I know my music." When was the decision made for you then to actually go to Vegas, and how's that work for you?
Vegas is my second home. So I'm right. I'm like it's like a dual, dual residency. I
Is
love
that how it
Vegas.
feels nowadays in the States? You dual residency, one here,
Yeah,
one
I
there.
love Vegas.
Good for
I
you.
love Vegas.
I've heard nothing
That's
but
where
positive things about it, because I've got
yeah, that's where my cousins are.
Black Lazarus. Is that, remember Black Lazarus?
Yeah,
Black Lazarus
he's
is
out there.
there. A guy called Kills from Detroit, who used to run with Proof and Eminem. He's there with his wife and his children, and yeah, they're doing music, KK production, and they've said
Okay.
they've never been happier, and it resonated with something I heard you
Mhm.
say about, "Oh my goodness, I wish I'd have done this a while
Yeah,
ago." And actually, because in Vegas, I'm happy. I'm who I need to be and where I want to be.
right. Yes, Vegas is fun. Vegas is just a place of fresh air for me. I've done a few shows in Vegas when I was doing music. Um, but Vegas is just like it's that's like just my second home where I can just go get a peace of mind and go down to the strip, enjoy the lights, enjoy the food, enjoy my family. That's pretty much
Are you
Vegas. I
and
don't
Rob?
really
Are you there now? You guys full time?
in my where?
Are you and your family there now full time?
No, no.
Not in Vegas full
We go
time.
back. Not in Vegas full time. I'm pretty much in California full time, but I go to Vegas more often than not. Like probably going to be going this weekend, Friday. Since the pandemic, it pretty much put us to where we don't go as often. So
We're back there
like
again. We're there again in
that,
this country already. We're there again.
yeah, I've got cabin fever. So
18 months we spent inside, so I don't know what it was like for you guys. But after
yeah,
18 months of being just allowed in your garden or for a walk,
right. I think that we were in home probably for about the same. It started opening up a little bit in
we've just
maybe
closed.
around
We're
May
just closed again. Yeah,
again. Oh wow.
again.
Yeah, there it seems like we're gonna be closing again soon. Hope not.
It's just Omicron. This Omicron. Yeah, likewise. Omicron virus is like dead center just right here.
Oh
So
wow. And where are you? You in England?
I'm just outside London. I'm in Essex, East London.
Okay, Essex is
So we've got it in Essex and we've got it in Nottingham, and it's just not looking good. Not looking good at all. And I just feel more sorry for the kids. Having
right,
missed a year of school, and my son
right.
Patrick, he missed a year of university and still paid
Oh,
well, $15,000 in fees and rent for an apartment.
so he wasn't
So
even
something needs to give. And
right.
I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel at the moment, not for us.
Wow.
And you think
Wow.
as
Well,
a small island would be able to kind of move our way past this and just shut our
right.
borders down. And but people are fighting against this vaccination. I don't blame them fighting against the vaccination,
Right.
but they are
Did you get
accept
vaccinated
to you.
too? Okay. Okay.
You had yours,
No.
so I won't have my booster. Not a chance. Not after the lies we've been told in this
Right.
country, and it has
Right.
been lies. I think 9 million people here were given a placebo, and that's just come
What is
out.
that's fake. That's like a mind trick or something.
So that's just come out from the government. So to play with people's lives like that, then you're capable of anything. So you just,
Wow.
I know that's how I was, just like, wow, that's me done. And I've even gone online. It's arrived yesterday, and I found some. It's called coenzyme, and the heavy metals that sit in your brain from the vaccine, the mercury. These
Okay.
new coenzymes are trying to help shift it and move it out of your body. Because I must admit, oh, my hands are, but I've not been well since my second vaccine. I've been constantly
Oh,
poorly. And I've just had
wow.
30, I'm still doing it now, 33 days of being ill and not being able to go out anywhere. And I haven't got
Wow.
COVID, just poorly. And I'm never like
Wow.
that. I've always been very upbeat and happy.
Right.
And I found myself just very quiet and just lethargic. And that's not who I am. I'm usually up, out, gym, happiness, music. And
Wow.
I dragged myself up to it was actually just like a rendition. It was an orchestra last week, about
Okay.
12, 15-piece orchestra doing Dre's 2001.
Oh,
And there
cool.
was a guy from California, well, two guys from California, actually doing the music. One was actually playing Dre, one was playing Pac, and they
Ooh,
dragged the guy out of the
nice.
audience to do the Eminem part, and he was looking at me going, "You," I was like, "No,
You,
no, no, no,
you
no, this is not for me."
Oh, that's cool. That must have been nice.
It was amazing. I also, do you know, are you familiar with Nissim Black? He's a
No.
black Jewish rapper. He used to run with BMG from Seattle years ago, a bit of a gangster.
Okay. No, I've
And
never heard of
he
it.
converted to Hasidic Judaism.
Okay.
And so I went to watch him actually at like a humongous synagogue in London. And
Okay.
he's still there with his black coat and his black hat and his little curls and that and his payots.
Yeah.
And he's very Hasidic now, but
Yeah.
he's remixed like stereotypical Jewish music into hip hop. And whether it's a
Okay.
marketing tool or whether it's something absolutely genuine,
Right.
all the power to him for finding that for that situation. So it's been quite uplifting, really. So I have had quite a nice week musically to go and be able to watch a couple of concerts for the first time in years.
Well,
But
that's cool.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so you take yourself away. When did this book? What was the concept behind it? I'll let you tell it rather than me tell it and get it wrong. So
Okay, so basically the concept behind the book is a love story between me and Rob. He's a good friend of mine, Robert. Um, and it just came between, so basically my friend is he's serving life in prison.
So
And
this part of the book
so
is true. The time that it was in prison and then the getting
yeah,
out situation.
well, he's still in prison.
Oh,
He's still in prison. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, he's still in prison. And so it's pretty much some of it is fact, some of it's fiction, but it came from, a dream, like basically, what we expect in his return, the goals that we're working towards. Um, some of the characters are our friends, and events that have happened, growing up.
yep.
And so it just it was just an idea, and it was more so like a script of like what we're gonna do, how it's gonna be. Um, we hustled together, in the past and in the present, and so it's pretty much just where sometimes the princess has to get the prince from out of the castle. You
What a
know.
lovely concept for once. How nice.
Yeah, so we're beating and slaying the dragon, and this is what came out of it.
Where do you feel it's going?
You said, where do I feel it's going?
Yeah, what's the journey of the book? Where's it going to take you personally? What's it for? I mean, is it going to give you something from the inside out?
For me, it's more so just expression, expressing who I am as a person on top of, his great imagination. This is part one. There's two other parts that are already finished.
Oh,
Um, Hopefully we get a Netflix series and I
I
get to
hope.
pick
I
me
think. I think it
an
should.
actor
I've read the
or
first one. I
actress.
think it should indeed. Your descriptive
Yeah,
language is absolutely superb. Everything from the Chanel scarf to the Tiffany lamp to the way he describes is it a Dave Allen bed,
yeah,
and the way it's so descriptive. I could almost sit there with my eyes closed on an ebook, and you could be there. The
yeah.
description of the lamp, the three-headed shower. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
descriptive. It's so good. It worked
So
perfectly. I was
that's
going to
what
ask you about screenplay actually.
yeah, that's what we wanted to do. We basically wanted to give the world a book that people could really relate to. And not only can they relate to it, but they can interact with the characters, and the characters are real people.
Yeah.
So alongside of me, dealing with the entertainment industry, basically public image, you know, um, being a public source, it's just kind of like reuniting, my fire for that. Yeah, it's just pretty much reunited my fire. Clearly, because when I thought about you, I thought about that you would read it. I didn't
Yes.
even think that you would want to do a interview. I
Yeah, for
just know that
sure.
you're a reader. You're a reader, and I know that you like to get insight. And I remember that you wanted to know more about me because I feel like more so Wednesday's a mystery. Um, and so like you've always been the kind of person that has always wanted to seek deeper into who I was as a person, you know?
I've
And
been very
so
lucky to have that window. I've got to say to you, I've been very lucky to have a window in,
mhm.
because I know I'll probably alienate a lot of English musicians, but it's nothing something that's never really interested me, and I think that's probably my age. We both
Okay.
come from the same kind of cut from the same cloth as regards to what our musical tastes are. I might have a
Right.
side genre that I listen
Mhm.
to on a regular basis, but I point blank refuse to even interview any East Coast artists when I first started out interviewing. It was just solely
Right.
based
So
around
just West Coast. Yeah,
just
like you
West
like that
Coast
West
music
Coast
and
gangster
nothing
rap.
more. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was all that
Yeah.
really gave me a spark that I could relate to, that I could speak to my friends about, and I almost wish that I had friends around me that shared the passion about music that I do
Right. The
in the
same
UK,
interest. And it's very
and there
rare.
isn't.
It's
There
very rare.
isn't.
That's how it is for me. That's how it is for me. Like most of my friends that I meet, um through the industry, it's like we share the same passion, but my friends that I grew up with, they don't have the same passion for music as I do. I'm pretty much the only one out of my immediate circle, and then I have the inside circle and the outside circle.
Yeah.
So the inside circle is these people in the book. My inside circle: Robert, Kiana, those characters, those are my inside circle. And then my outside circle with the industry and work would be the people from Hard Hair Productions, Empire Distribution, Unique, just Everybody Eats, just more so you know, social
Do-
life, my
Yeah.
social life.
Do you
Yeah.
mind me asking? You skipped up on like, the dream of you like with Netflix. Have you actually managed to secure, if you don't mind me asking, any kind of facilitate any sort of meetings along them kind of lines where, or have you? Do you mind me? Have you adapted the book part one into a screenplay yet?
Not yet. We just dropped the book.
So
We just dropped the book.
you're waiting for your feedback.
We're waiting for feedback. We're gaining feedback. I've actually gotten more feedback than I expected. It's good to see that people still read. A lot of people don't read anymore.
I don't understand that. That's beyond me. I have a stack of books next to my bed all day long. I do probably read probably two or three things at a time, and I shouldn't, because I do end up neglecting. So this being on my
Yeah,
Kindle,
yeah.
it actually made it different. I just pick up my phone, which is just completely natural now to sit there with your phone and just
Right.
swipe.
Yeah. Going
But
through.
I found
Yeah.
it riveting. I even read it over the phone as well to my girlfriend and was like, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. And she was like,
Okay.
what,
Yeah.
are you familiar with these people? I said, yeah, of course I'm familiar with it. Yeah. She's like, this is
Oh
very,
yeah.
very cool. So
That's
she's
cool.
something that
Yeah. So
somebody,
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just we want to give people something different. You could pick up a book, and how often will you pick up a book and you could actually call the person, inbox them, FaceTime them, set up an interview and say, hey, I like your book. I like where it's going. You know, I could feel it. I could see it. I could imagine it. And, here I am. I've never did that before.
you haven't,
No, I don't know
no, me
anybody
neither.
that did.
Again, it's been something that's novel to me as well. This is a
Yeah, like
first.
one of my favorite books was The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Soldier.
Yep.
And I read that book, and then I read the Portia Santiago story. That's the spinoff of one of the daughters. And then Midnight, that's a spinoff of one of the characters. And I would love to meet Winter or Portia Santiago. I would love to have met one of those people, but they're not real characters. They're not real
No,
people.
no.
They're not real people.
Immediately
Yeah,
that I saw this drop, I was like, well, I know what I've got to do. I knew immediately
yeah,
what my next move was. I just thought, well, this has got to come. I've got to get Winsday, I've got to get Wendy on board. I have to do something just
yeah,
so, again, it's about for me, it's about documenting just history.
yeah.
If you
And I
turn around
appreciate
in
that.
5 months' time and you've got a bestseller in your hands, and then book two, book three comes out, it's something
Yeah,
that only, I mean, I've got nothing to sit back and be proud about. I'm just sitting here with you, listening to you talking about your wonderful book and how far this is going to go. And
yeah,
let's be honest, there's nothing that I've seen. And I did do some research I got the book. Yeah,
mhm,
you're quite on your own, really, with this genre like this.
yeah,
You've chosen well. You found a niche here, and there's nothing that's got a narrative structure that's comparative to yourself, Rob, your family, other people in the industry, and you've stated that at the moment, wait and see, because other things will be drawn into book
yeah.
two, book three, and it will make more sense to everybody.
And so in the other books is when Wednesday's introduced. So, it's a combination of fact and fiction, and so like the first one, just basically starts from is present day, but we also go back into our childhood. And a lot of those events are real events. And then the other series are going to fast forward into present day and then transition into, from Wendy to Wednesday. And, she gets introduced,
How'd
and
you
then all
find
the
that?
things Wednesday goes through.
How did you find that? Was it quite surreal?
What?
Being able to have two completely different perspectives on this book as you're writing it. I mean, I know in not book one, but in book two in particular. How did you find that? Is
Well,
it kind of able to switch between the two personas and having a distinct line where one's one and one's the other?
Well, okay, so I didn't write the book. Robert wrote the book.
Really? Now that has
Yeah.
surprised me. So big up,
Okay,
Robert.
so
Tell Robert
but
I said well done
thank you. So
when you speak with him.
so Duffel Bag Forever is the blanket. You know, that's us. That's the family. But the writer, you know, he's the one
Excuse
that
me a moment.
wrote
Excuse me.
everything. Okay. No worries.
Sorry about that. My apologies.
It's
So
okay.
Robert wrote the book and
Yeah, so he wrote everything. I proofread. I give my opinions. Um, you know, we went back and forth with mail and emails. And so sharing ideas, sharing stories on top of our personal experience. And so where it started with just one book with This California Love. And that was basically our personal love story.
it's a
Then
heck of
as
a
life,
tribute. It's a heck of a tribute to you, by the way. If that's written by
yeah,
Robert, it's a real tribute to you. Because that's
yeah,
absolutely thrown me. I mean, he's got some really good creative writing skills.
yeah,
Because I mean, even the opening scenes, that's feminine. It's brilliant.
yeah.
You've
And so
thrown me.
that's where
You've
it
absolutely thrown me with that. It really has. So he's
yeah,
done a
so
real
that's where
great
it started.
job. So
Yeah,
please do
thank
pass
you.
on my best. Do tell him exactly what I said about this, but say it
Yes, he
quietly
did
so everybody else
well.
doesn't
I
hear.
mean, everybody was waiting for I guess we were going to share it. I don't know how my friends and followers they're gonna watch it. He's gonna watch it. He'll see it. He'll definitely see it. He'll appreciate it.
I hope so, because he
Yeah.
definitely deserves credit, because I think that's one of the most telling things. The fact that you've shared the ideas, you've emailed backwards and forwards, but they're his words. That opening, the descriptiveness, the way he actually speaks about you as the character when the book
Yeah.
opens, from waking in the morning. I mean, even I was thinking, yeah, I do that underneath the covers, and I glare at my phone and I adjust my eyes, and I just
Yeah.
thought, okay,
This
I can
everything
see.
about me. These took days, definitely days and hours of dialect, conversations, going back and forth. Basically, it's like, let's say a personal and private interview of me, and then taking the dialect and turning your imagination on and creating a story.
Well, it definitely works.
Yeah.
What's your next move? What do you feel your next move should? What do you feel your next move should be? Where's this going
Well,
now? But with book
well,
two,
with
do you know? Have you got a date in your mind? Do you know? Is it a yearly thing, a 6 monthly thing?
no, we want to get the momentum with book one going. Um, see how many copies we can get sold. See if we do start going into some screenplay, and then we don't have a set time. We just wanted to get California Love out by Christmas, and so you know we reached that goal, and then the other we might probably release them within the next couple months or within the next couple of years, depending on how this one goes. And then you know I also have my clothing brand that I'm launching. So it's just going to be a spinoff with a lot of different things, alongside with book signings. Hopefully more people want to meet me, get me out of my social anxiety.
I can. Persian, don't you? Blend Nassim.
Yes, I
It's,
remember her.
if you
I
want,
remember.
I, she has her own radio show out of Philly, I think.
Yes,
So I will
yes.
be more than happy to give her a call and say get in touch with you, and you two can hook up and have a chat.
Oh, I would love that.
If you're game for that, if you're up for that, because that quite be,
Yeah.
again, it's on the other side of the country. There'll be more
Right.
exposure. She's got a good following. She's always had a very good following, actually. So
Right.
I think that could be good for you as well, actually.
Yeah, I'm game. I've always wanted to meet everybody. I wanted to go meet her in Philly. I think, was she in Philly or New York?
She was in New York. I think she's in Philly. I think she's in Philly now.
Okay.
I think it's
Okay.
Iron Throne. Give it a quick plug. Iron Throne Radio. That she
Okay.
does and every evening. I think probably 5 or 6 days a week. So she's
Okay.
fully committed. She's got the resources. She's got the studio. So I think
Okay.
that could be a good move for the both of you.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure she would love it. She would love to see my character. Yeah, I'm
for
sure she would
sure.
read it too.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
would. I think she really
Yeah,
would
I kind
enjoy
of
that.
lost touch. I lost touch with a lot of people over time. I deactivate my social media a lot. So I lost a lot of touch with a lot of people. But I'm back online now, of
Yeah,
course, promoting my book.
4 years I disappeared for.
Yeah.
From 2017 to 2021, just completely shut down, and again, just personal problems and getting rid of certain people out of our lives. So it's again, I now feel like I can finally sit
Mhm.
down and restart what I
So
was
yeah, I
passionate.
feel like I think 2015, 2016 is when I kind of have fell back. So I feel like a lot of people had to just revert back to themselves and just, deal with personal life,
Yeah,
personal and family life. I think
yeah,
that's
for
pretty
sure.
much what everybody went through.
Yeah,
Most of us.
it can get very traumatic. We've had a traumatic time as is ourselves. So we now
Yeah.
feel, again, we feel refreshed. We feel ready to step back out in the world, to be having relationships again with people. But it's taken
Absolutely.
some time to actually make that conscious decision that as a family unit, you have to heal first after something bad
Right.
goes on within your life.
Right.
Um, Do you mind me asking, your personal relationship now? Where do you find yourself? Are you and Rob still just friends, or is there plans, or are you staying together, or
We're
is that for
friends.
another time?
We're friends. Um, we don't know what the future might hold. We don't know what the future might hold, but we're friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you had any pitfalls along the way that you could give people any tips about with this book?
Um, any pitfalls?
Yeah, have you come across any major problems that you think that people should really keep a close eye? I mean, the music industry, let's be honest, is an absolute minefield. So has this been something that's been a lot easier to adjust to, a lot easier to see people coming from a million miles away that are never gonna be able to get past, get one over on you, get past you?
Well, okay, so patience, patience is a virtue because sometimes when we rush into things, um, rushing doesn't necessarily always get you the right results.
Yeah,
And so, with this book, we took our time. As far as people and different run-ins and pitfalls, you got to keep your circle closed. Keep your circle closed and small because there are people that will try to infiltrate, what you're doing, your ideas. And so this is something that we kept private for a long time until it was ready. And so I could just tell people, like value privacy, even in the entertainment industry, whether you're rapping, modeling, book writing, painting, dancing, singing, privacy is very, very needed. It's a virtue because what people don't know, they can't ruin.
no.
And so
It becomes
sometimes,
that becomes from maturity as well, doesn't it? When you're young, you're dying for
yeah,
that
and
exposure.
maturity, yeah. Yeah, because you always wanna, show everybody what you're doing and tell everybody your
Yeah,
next move and all.
yeah,
And the results are the only thing that matters. And so rather than posting every day, wait till the book comes out. Oh, I'm the main character of a book. Oh, this and that, like it's more so it's nobody's business what we have going on until it's done, and then we
Yeah,
give the finished product to the world.
that's great
And
advice.
so I would recommend value your privacy, and give the world the finished product, because over time people will try to infiltrate and try to distract people from the goal, and distractions come in many forms.
Have you found it's
Distractions
work?
don't.
Have you found it's work for you guys to keep it under wraps and get to the
Right.
goal and then be able to release it?
Right. Yeah.
Within your circle, how's it been accepted, the book? Has it been one of absolute, because I never saw this coming. I was just like, yes, this is
um
amazing.
so I have other male friends that probably won't read it, because of course.
They'll ask for a copy, but it'll sit there.
It's like it's a gift and a curse, honestly. So I have some people on one hand that are excited. They're like, they have some people have who have read it, some people that are ordering it, some people that are anticipating, reading it. And then I have some people that are like, oh, I'm not reading that. Oh, like it's
As blatant
explicit.
as that.
Yeah, it's explicit, or oh, I don't want to know about y'all imagination, or some people aren't into polygamous lifestyle. It's a lot of different things that's in the book that some people are not into.
Okay.
And
You
so,
you can't please all the folk all the time, can you, really?
right, right. So
So, finally, how you doing? How you doing? Looking forward to Christmas with your family. What are your plans?
I don't have any plans. Um, it's Christmas every day. Every day we open our eyes is a present.
Okay.
So it's a gift. So as far as we might be in Vegas, with our family in Vegas, or I might be home baking cookies with my daughter. So I don't really have any plans, to be honest. Just
Just
gonna be
keeping it
working out.
open.
Yeah, just keeping it open. This was the Christmas present to the world, So this is our gift to the world. California
Well,
love.
I'm
Yeah.
exceptionally proud of what you've achieved, when you really are. You've come full
Thank
circle, and
you.
this is a really good look for you. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's been a long time. It's been hard because it was like me
Yeah,
and
because
Rob.
normal life is still going on, isn't it, for you,
Yeah,
regardless of
right,
what you're doing?
right, right. So the transition from music studio, because we were dedicating a lot of our time there. There was times where I was spending 14 hours in the studio. Um, and
Working two
so
jobs, three jobs, just to make sure you got
yes, I
those bills
was
paid.
working, going to school, and doing music, traveling, all that. So that was a lot. It kept me sane at the time that I needed it, going through different things in my personal life with my family and my daughter's father on that end. Then after a while, things start getting overwhelming
Yeah,
with maintaining it all. And so when I went through a depression, and I kind of went through just like I felt like, things were failing and everything was just falling apart for me in my world, then that's when me and Rob reconnected. And when we reconnected, coming out with the ideas of rebuilding, rebuilding my self-esteem, rebuilding my image, rebuilding my self-worth, just a lot of different things.
yeah.
And then that's where
The
California
inspiration,
love plays.
the
Yes.
inspiration came from. Well, I think you've
Yes.
done a fantastic job. I really do, and I wish you all the
Thank you.
success in the future. It's been an absolute
Thank
pleasure
you.
talking to you,
Thank you.
and
Thank
I
you. It's been a
wish you a
pleasure.
very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too.
And you take care.
Thank you.
Peace. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Stop.